supposed to be you. It's supposed to be me.
Hi, everybody. Yay.
Oh, God, who was that woman? Hello, and welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory, and we are going to do some drawing today. Welcome everybody who's here, including JJ.
I'm here.
And for those of you who are new to Draw With Me, this is not a drawing lesson. It's just a drawing opportunity. It's a time to get together and draw and sit around and jabber. Every so often somebody strays in to Draw With Me and they say, what the hell is this? Who's this guy? Why is all this jabbering going on? Well, jabbering is kind of the point.
It could be called like jabber. Not even jabber with me, because you don't exactly get like listen to jabber.
That's true. Jabber. And speaking of, here's JJ. JJ, you're on camera.
Oh, hi.
Now. Okay,
you keep doing that. I mean, why?
Sorry, I don't know. It's just giving the people what they want.
I don't. Well, okay, lovely. That's nice. Thanks.
Yeah. So basically, we are gonna. I don't know. It's just nice to get together. Here it is. It is December 15th.
Yeah. Don't expect to learn anything.
You might learn stuff, but it may have nothing to do with drawing. You may learn to never do this again, but. Hopefully you'll have a good time. That's really the point, is to have a good time.
And hopefully this week our power won't cut out right before the end.
So we apologize for what happened last week. We actually just got an email from Cox Communications saying that if we pay a little bit extra, if the electricity goes off, we won't get booted.
How about you just deliver service that doesn't go out?
It wasn't really their fault. It was the electricity's fault. So anyway, we're sorry about that.
Sorry.
We managed to get through about 45 minutes of the show last week. And another thing that's happened is you may have noticed in the cavalcade of stuff that there was fewer than normal, and there was a slower pace. And that's because we're having a bit of problem finding everything.
Shakes fist at Mighty Networks.
Yes, so part of it is the schoolyard has transitioned to a new system that we're all getting used to. I think it was a complicated thing to do. I think people enjoyed artificial intelligence.
I'm not sure about that.
I like to think that they did.
Yeah,
but maybe they didn't. Anyway, Karen, yes, it has started. We are fully dimensional, video and audio. So
Karen, you have to come back to Phoenix where it's sunny and beautiful today.
Exactly.
We are living the dream here in Phoenix, Arizona. This is the reward.
It's not really true. There was frost this morning. It
doesn't matter, but that's it's still going to be warm and sunny. It's just lovely.
It's true. It was like 30 something degrees. Yeah. So,
but we are happy to be alive today.
So
it's
here's
nice.
some Berad Soleimani Faraz. Welcome. Nice to see you and so many other people here. Diane wants to draw at Mont Saint-Michel.
We drew at Mont Saint-Michel with Jean-Christophe Delphine.
That's true, we did.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a very cool place. And of course, Alex C. in sunny Tucson.
Yeah, who came to the in-person workshop and was too shy to come say
I was wondering
hello.
About that.
And we didn't get a picture, and it was sad. So
Alex, come on, man. Next time.
We love you. We want to meet you.
All right, so let's just go through a few things. So let's talk about the mail, because we've been getting some mail, right?
Yeah, we got excellent mail. Last week we all but begged.
Hand me some stuff?
And I have to say, you delivered. Somebody heard the call. They heard the call, and Fran Cooper will be eating these cookies right after we hang up the session.
Shortbread.
The best rosemary shortbread. Yum. So let that be an example to everyone that
feel free to bribe us.
Bribes. But we also got the most beautiful thank you note. I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah,
look at that.
Let me just make you full screen. Hold on a second. Here. Okay, there you go.
So this is going on the wall. This is probably going into a frame.
Hold it up again, I'm
sorry.
Yeah. So this is a card from Emma.
Emma, daughter of Tina Whitcomb Hillard, who is in Spark and who just warmed our heart so much with sending us this beautiful piece of love.
We also got this.
Yeah, right? You should show that.
Yeah, so we got
it came yesterday. We haven't even really had a chance to look at it
yet. So this, for those of you who are, hold on a second, let me just switch here again. For those of you who are fans of Ian Fennelly, this is a new book that's just coming. I don't think it's come out yet, right?
This is early, hot off the press, but I do think it's out.
It's a beautiful book. And see this? This is the one that we did in the workshop.
Yay!
This actual painting, I think, was the one he did in our workshop. But it is really nice. It's got just lots of stuff from all around the world. So
we love Ian.
We love Ian. It's great to see.
Possibly one of the nicest guys.
It's just nice to see
just so talented. So talented, but also so generous with his talent. Great teacher. And get the book. Good Christmas gift.
I have to say also we had, speaking of talented and great teachers, we had a really great workshop last weekend.
I honestly think it was the best workshop we've ever had.
Yes, so it was called Fresh Gouache. Hopefully you were there. If you're a Spark member, it's in your library. If you weren't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you can't buy it now.
But it was, Jimmy Leslie was our teacher. He's just incredibly clear teacher, I think, more than anything. And it was just a beautiful painting that he did, and then seeing the work that people made. Wasn't that amazing?
No, so cut to the chase. It was so good, and we're so obsessed with gouache.
Yes, we're gonna be doing gouache today.
Use gouache today.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing gouache today. We're gonna be giving away some gouache. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yep.
And yeah, gouache. Just thinking about gouache was really good. It was good. I see some folks were there. Laurie was there. Karen plans to do it this weekend.
So much fun. Yes.
Who else? Jenny was there. It was really good. Gris Violette is full of remorse. And I'm sorry about that. Janice couldn't get a Wi-Fi to behave, so she missed it. But again, it's in your library. So do you varnish gouache? No, I don't. I think that would be problematic. But Ian talked about that. I'm sorry, Jimmy did talk about varnishing gouache, and he said no, put it under glass.
He talked about everything. He literally broke down gouache. It flipped the playbook on gouache for myself and for a lot of people.
As Virginia said, there was so many great paintings, but they were all individual and unique. But they were, I don't know. I just think they put it to really good use. So.
Yeah.
But Diane, I would say think about gouache like you think about watercolor. It's not acrylic. Think about it that way. So whatever you do with watercolor, that's basically what gouache is. But Jimmy went into that in detail. So I would say to you, I don't want to pour gouache in your wounds, but I would say it was a really great workshop. And
we had so much fun.
And it's gone.
Yeah. We're thinking about making the recordings of some of our workshops available.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so, starting with Danny's dip into dip pens, which so many people asked for.
Right.
So look out for that in January.
Yeah, so I think what I'm trying to do in the next few months, probably into the next year, is I'm working on a bunch of different projects. So this is new stuff we haven't seen before. It's been a long time since we've made new courses at Sketchbook School. We've made workshops, we've done special events, we've done all of our classes, of course. But this is going to be a time to make a bunch of new stuff. And I'm interested in whatever people want to learn about. That's partly the foundation for the new things that I'm working on. But I think starting soon, you'll see a bunch of new things, and hopefully there'll be things that you want to join us in.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right, moving on. Yes. So this week's podcast was with Michelle Meeker, and I was really proud of it because Michelle is somebody who I've been working with as her coach for a year, and she started doing a comic diary, and she's now done it for a year every day. She's done and she posted on Instagram. They're phenomenal. They're so hilarious, and she's just jumped ahead by leaps and bounds. And she is a professional animator. She worked on Shrek. She's also worked at Pixar, and she was just looking for a way to kind of develop her own art and to kind of move away from all of the restrictions of professionalism. So we had a really great conversation about it. If you haven't listened to the podcast, this is a great episode, and I hope that you enjoy it. The podcast we have a couple more episodes in the season, but this season is going to be wrapping up soon. Of course, all the previous episodes are there. And I think this is the 75th episode we've done, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think most podcasts last for like 4 episodes, and this one has done really well. Speaking of statistics, we just have, this is I think we've had 10 million views on YouTube now. So, yeah. So
somebody should send us cookies for that.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying.
This channel is like now actually like fairly significant. So
it's too legit to quit.
It's true. So anyway, Hahnemühle, thank you for this week giving us agave watercolor paper. We've talked about agave watercolor paper before. It's great. It's also great for the environment. It's great to use. It is sustainable, and it could be yours because we're giving away two Hahnemühle Agave Watercolor Paper.
I'll put it in the chat.
Pads, 9.5 by 12.5 sheets. So if you've never used agave, check it out. And we are giving away 2s. Write to us, info@sketchbookskool.com.
First thing I saw when I logged into the chat, Angela Brown, who won last week, said, "Thank you for the Hahnemühle gift. They are the nicest papers that I have so far. Wonderful surprise." So
they are great papers.
Yep. If you haven't won this year, send me a little jingle jangle.
Exactly. So
and bribery works.
So
just saying.
Send us more cookies. So info@sketchbookskool.com. Tell us, if you want to say, here's why I'd like this. Great. We'd love to hear about it, and it may or may not influence whether or not you get selected. I don't know.
Yeah, make me
cookies
laugh,
work
make me
too.
cry. Cookies.
And you can also write, if you wanted to write to us via snail mail, you could, but we're probably going to pick a winner this week, but we'll figure it out. And also this week, as I said, we are giving away a set of Winsor Newton Gouache.
I mean,
they're
how
phenomenal.
major is that?
Yeah.
That's like I think the biggest prize. We
don't do it often.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten many opportunities to give this gouache set away, but it's really cool and quite
enamored
luxurious.
with it.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to be using it today.
Yeah.
So again, same thing, info@sketchbookskool.com. Tell us and send us again your U.S. mailing address. What's the time limit, Kate wants to know?
Yeah, I mean,
to be able to ask.
I usually say if you've won in the last year. Yeah.
Yeah, once a year. And then give somebody else a chance.
The sponsors really want to get.
Yeah, we want to get it out to as many different people. But Rose says that's the best gouache. It is.
That's Holly Rose.
Oh, it
by
is
the way.
Holly Rose, of course.
Hey,
Sorry, Holly. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Good. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So today, I thought we would do poinsettias.
Or as some people say, poinsettias.
I know. That's what I thought too, but they're poinsettias.
Poinsettia.
So poinsettias, I'm going to try painting them with gouache. We'll see how that goes. No guffawing from the background.
So did you prep a page?
So what I did is, one of the
Something we learned from Jimmy Leslie.
One of the things we learned from Jimmy Leslie was that it's nice to have a background to work on, right? So this is looking very blue. So this is, sorry, why is this looking so blue? So what I did is I took some acrylic ink, because that's what Jimmy recommends. And here, you can't really quite tell, but this is actually really fluorescent ink. And yet it looks kind of orange on
your
screen.
camera is not.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Your hands look like you're frozen.
Yeah. Whoa, that's not right. Sorry, let me just see if I can fix it.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, imagine bright fluorescent orange. No, even on my face, it doesn't look right. So this bright fluorescent orange is one option. Another option is sepia, kind of dark brown ink. And then another option was black. But again, so what this is it's acrylic ink. And the reason that you use acrylic ink, we learned from Jimmy, is it isn't activated by the gouache. So in the past, I've been doing this, and I've been laying down a coat of gouache and then letting it dry and then painting on top of it. But what can happen is the new gouache that you put on can reactivate that color. So suddenly, like I don't know if you remember on the Bastille Day, I did the painting of Louis the 16th. And I painted in blue, a blue background that I painted on top of it, and I struggled with that. So I think I'm going to probably work on black, just because.
Because your heart is as black as coal?
No, because even if you look at this, what's nice about it is it's probably not going to be part of the actual picture, but it's underlying it, you know.
I mean, that's so much of what we learned from Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, he did it with
red,
and that was really cool.
Because his thing was primarily green.
Yeah, I thought about doing red, but then I thought, well, these poinsettias are red, so that would be kind of poinsettia-less.
Poinsettia-less.
Exactly. So, yeah, so I'm going to start doing that. And I also, this is my little swatch of these. So these are the primary ones that we're giving away. And you can see it comes with 2 different kinds of each color. So there's primary blue, primary yellow, primary red, and then there's also spectrum red, permanent yellow deep, and ultramarine. And it comes with a couple of other colors and some white that you can't see. So, you know, but just looking at the picture here, even you can see that these reds are sort of in the ballpark. I mean, I'm going to mix them a little bit.
You think you'll use that primary blue?
I don't know. No, probably not. Why would I?
I'm asking.
I don't know. Who knows?
It's a question.
It is a nice color, though. But I'm thinking, you know, these 2 colors. You were
going to say you had to mix it. You were going to mix it.
Yeah, you do mix it. What are you talking about? Mixing you mean to mix that red?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. So, you know, this is kind of graphic looking. The things about poinsettias, so I've learned a couple things that are interesting about poinsettias, which is they're not flowers. Isn't that amazing?
I know. I'm still in a state of
I just discovered that
utter disbelief.
These red things that look like flowers are actually just leaves that are red. I'm not quite sure what to say about that, but yeah. So that's the case. So let's get to it. Now, I could draw these. Should I draw them?
You really don't plan these things out, do you?
Well, I don't want to have an unfair advantage over everybody else.
Okay.
Because you're all just coming here and saying, well, what are we going to do?
They all coming and scrambling to see if they have gouache at the ready.
You don't need to use gouache.
Exactly.
You can do whatever
you want.
Pencil, do whatever
marker.
You want. You could use anything you want.
Do something in black and white. You do you. You do you.
Yes, it's true.
As Alicia loves to say.
You do you. So, so I'm going to just see what happens. I think I'm just going to wing it.
Oh, Jen is saying bougainvillea is also the leaves or the flower. What appear to be flowers are actually just the leaves.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So gouache, you can draw it. I don't know. That's what Jimmy did. He drew his sketch beforehand, right?
I mean, to put so many layers. It was almost...
It didn't matter that he had drawn it. It was
That's
just kind
what
of
I'm
a
saying.
guide. Yeah,
it was sort of like, I think, more for the benefit of everyone in the workshop, but I'm not sure if he would... I don't know. It's hard to say.
But here's what I think is interesting about gouache, and it kind of rekindled this thought in me during the workshop, which is when I was a teenager, I did a bit of painting, and I would paint acrylic paint mainly. And it was a nice process. It was a nice process that over time I grew utterly sick of. And it wasn't really because I didn't like painting. It was because I didn't like having paintings.
I know, they're a burden.
They became a real burden. I mean, I ended up with because I, of course, had to be grand and had to paint like giant canvases. And I would end up with these canvases, and it got more and more out of control.
It's the folly of adolescence.
Right. So then I had them, and then when I finally got my own apartment after college, and my mother said, "What's the story with all these paintings? Could you get them out of the house, please?" So I moved to my first apartment, and I had to, take all these paintings with me. And most of them I had painted years before, so they were kind of reminders of my adolescence at a time when I was trying to be like a young man in the city. But I had all these paintings, and I got a painting of Dylan Thomas that I had done, and
that sounds like something you would do.
And I had just paintings that they were weird. They were like weird portraits and things like that. And I don't know. So, I hung them up and people were like, "Oh, where'd you get these?" And I said, "Oh, I painted them, but I don't paint anymore." And
that's when you decided you were a writer.
Yeah, well, I was a writer the whole time, but I definitely was not a painter. And I think it was sort of helpful with girls, because you could sort of it seemed like maybe I could be impressive. Probably not though. So I had them all on the walls, and I had a couple of roommates, and then I ended up moving. Oh, that's when I first met Patty, and then we ended up living together. And I went back to get my stuff, and I found out that my roommate had thrown all of my paintings in the garbage. And I remember our landlady was really angry at me. When I came to get the stuff, she said, "I'm really disgusted by you. I didn't think you were that kind of a person." I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "I saw that you threw all that art away. I can't believe that you would treat art this way." They were like piled up. Yes. I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Yeah, all these paintings were like in the trash and they came and picked them and took them away." I said, "Oh my God." I got really mad at my roommate, and that was the end of that. So, yeah. That was that.
Sorry.
Anyway, what was my point? Gouache. So gouache, it's some of the pleasures of painting, because painting is really different from drawing in the sense that you're juxtaposing shapes and colors as opposed to creating everything with lines, and that makes it kind of a different experience, and you look at it differently. And
I think that there was a part of Jimmy's workshop that sticks with me is just like with this gouache, you kind of have to get through the stage where it is a hot mess. Mm-hmm. And sort of when you achieve that state of like, goodness gracious, you're on the right track.
That's true.
Like that's like when you're like, oh no, that's when it's about to turn the corner and get good.
I think that's true of so much art that we make, that we get into this point where we're just hating it, and then you turn, it's like the dip, right?
Yeah, you get rewarded for your persistence.
Right, the dip happens, and if you're patient.
What is the dip? Explain the dip? I know this is like Seth Godin or something like that.
Yeah, the dip is the idea that you invariably in every process of creation there are, you will hit a down period. And that down period might be sustained for quite a while. And, successful people ride through the dip because ultimately, as it dips down, it will dip up eventually if you have patience, if you continue to experiment, if you continue to work it through. So that's sort of the idea is, will you have the patience to do that? And will you have the kind of, the perseverance to carry on? And that's sort of the idea. And I think it's true of art as well, of course.
Are you going to talk about the yellow business?
Yeah, so this yellow business here apparently is that kind of is the flower, or buried inside there is the flower. The flower is actually like a little tiny thing. So
so the red are the leaves.
Right. The red are leaves, and it has to do with the light, the amount of light and darkness that they get. Like they somehow, I don't know exactly, but it's something to do with that. Like they change the color depending on how much light and darkness they're exposed to. And apparently, most of the poinsettias in the world, or about half of them at least, come from one ranch in California.
I mean, that might be the fun fact that tickles my brain the most.
Yeah. And it's basically a guy whose grandfather kind of started to import them in 1900. I think they kind of came from Mexico and South America. And they sort of invented this idea that they're a Christmas flower. It wasn't a thing that, there's no particular law that says they have to be a Christmas flower. So
The power of marketing.
Exactly. So
They are beautiful. Oh, and not toxic.
Yeah, that's the other myth about them, is that they are.
Last year I got these like incredibly beautiful, gigantic poinsettias from Costco. Because as much as I love See's candy, I also love Costco. And I put them outside because I was afraid the Twiggy beef would eat the leaves and get herself into.
Oh, you were worried about that?
Yeah, I of course. And I was like,
okay, so
these have to live outside. And then when I went to move them, lo and behold,
they were poisoned.
Black widow. I was like, oh, so I've lured a black widow to the edge of our doorstep, which is an actually truly poisonous thing. And
nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think I told you about that.
No.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah, black widows. Seriously, in New York, we never had black widows.
Yeah, we've got them here. They really, in fairness to the black widow, they really don't want to engage with peeps. Their policy is like, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, which is pretty hard to argue with.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's my own fault because they do like to go into little crevices, and I put these big plants right next to the door, and they were probably getting a little bit of warmth. Maybe have a little bit of nesting spot.
So glad that we could
so disgusting.
do that for them. Has the chat quieted, or am I not seeing it anymore?
The people are freaking out about spiders. Sorry. This is meant to be a Christmas, holiday run-up.
Well, sorry.
Sorry.
You ruined it.
We went back to Halloween, briefly skirted back to October. I cannot believe that there are only 2 weeks left in the year.
Yeah.
It's wigging me out.
Do you feel like this is a good year?
I feel like it's a great year. We're alive. We have Twiggy beef. We have each other.
That's a pretty low bar. Yep, we're alive. So, yeah.
Should we talk about the fact that we went and saw the movie Elf in the movie theater on Tuesday?
Let's talk about that.
I don't know if anyone else here loves that movie as much as I do, but when I saw that the Harkins Cinema had $5 tickets to go see Elf in the movie theater, I was overjoyed. It's like, don't even get me any presents this year because I've already gotten everything that I want. See Elf on the big screen.
Miracle of Christmas.
I was so happy.
Will Ferrell. That's all it takes. Who's the best character in that movie, you think?
I mean, that's like picking what's the best candy in the box of C's.
Well, I thought you were going to say Will Ferrell was. The elf was. Buddy.
I mean, Buddy's great, but I love the little brother. You, of course, love Zoe. What is she, Jovi?
No. My favorite was...
Miles Finch is amazing.
Miles Finch is my role model.
His time on screen was electric.
So this looks on camera way worse than it really is.
I actually think it looks pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks so.
Other people have chimed in. They're liking what you did to give the red leaves dimension.
It just looks so much more contrasty than it really is. It really is. The colors are much more muted than they seem. This looks really garish. It looks like.
Well, here's the good news. You still have time. You're possibly in the dip.
That's true. That might be what it is. Yeah, because this black is making the the color's kind of nicely, not too garish in reality, but.
A few people are talking about not going to the movie theater. You know, this is only, I think, the second or third time we've gone to a movie theater. Yeah. It was the power of Elf. This is the movie theater where you get like a reclining Barca-lounger, and you actually have quite a good distance of space between yourself and the next
What if we got
person.
COVID and died because of Elf?
Don't even say that.
Just saying. No. Could happen.
No, that's not even, no. We're not.
You don't think so?
No.
Made at least one error so far.
Diane is asking, what are you painting on? It's the agave paper.
What am I painting? Agave paper from Hahnemühle.
Funny you should mention it because we're going to give some away.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat again. It's really excellent paper.
Put my acrylic ink away. That was a mistake. So, yeah, I'm going to just let this sit for a minute.
Do you have your hairdryer at the ready?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's something a little corny about poinsettias. Maybe that's what I'm responding to as a subject matter.
I don't know if it's a thing you would have picked out. I think I sort of egged you on to do it.
Yeah, like Cezanne wouldn't have painted poinsettias. Not that I'm Cezanne, or even close, but you know what I mean. So, but it is an opportunity to experiment and to play around, and that is what we want, you know. So I'm feeling like my greens, even though they look even worse on camera, are actually in need of a remix. That's what I like about gouache is you can just go back in and you can revise. You can put in some new layers and therefore you can rethink it, you can fix it, although that's not what we call it. Another go. You have to be sort of careful because when you put your next layer on, it might want to activate the layer below if it's not fully dry. But it's also cool that you can paint on black. Not something that you can do with watercolors, certainly. That's what we're used to using so much at Sketchbook School. We use a lot of watercolors.
Somebody's saying you should add a cat.
To what?
Well, now that we know they're not toxic, because otherwise it would be problematic to suggest a cat next. I still feel like I don't trust that intel. I don't think I would let Twiggy be near a poinsettia.
Why don't we feed her a couple poinsettia leaves?
Hilarious.
And see what happens.
Hilarious.
Twiggy had a vigorous play date last night with her girlfriend, Lucy.
Another little pug named Lucy.
Miniature pug. They look identical, except Twiggy is twice the size.
So Twiggy went to the vet on Monday, and he said she's chunky.
Chunky.
That's bad, because she's only 2. I don't think she's chunky. I think she's
all muscle.
She's so strong. You don't think of a pug being an athletic little
she's like
creature, but she's really strong. And I mean, I don't even, you can still feel her ribs. I think the vet, who am I? Just a second. But she really eats the keto diet. She gets all protein. Doesn't get any people food.
It's true. I think we need a new vet.
No.
He's maligned her.
We love him.
He's maligned her for the last time.
Hey, Twiggy, come here. Come here. Come here, Beefy.
Big boned.
She's too lazy.
JF says big boned. She is. She's a big boned girl.
Drew says skinny. No, the vet at least said he suffers from the same problem. He said, I just look at food and I gain weight.
How he feels about dog food.
How do you, so someone's asking a question, Allison.
Yeah.
Should we have pre-prep pages in our sketchbook in case we do more sketching on backgrounds? You kind of always have a few pages in your book that
I like to do that.
prepped. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort
so,
of
like
I
even
think
here's
that's a pro tip.
here's a little tiny sketchbook that I have, just a couple pages done, because I found that color and I was like, that color orange is really cool. And then what happens is you can do this and it becomes just an interesting challenge to yourself. You flip the page and you go, oh man, this has got like a bright orange background. And I was, I was going to the zoo and I was drawing zebras. And then you suddenly go, well, that's actually could be pretty interesting. It's happened to me quite a lot where I thought, oh no, what am I going to do with this colored page? It's like the past version of me has created this tragic problem for the current version of me by setting this up in advance.
And sometimes it's just you spilled your coffee.
There's that too. but it's kind of an interesting challenge and forces you into some creative solutions.
Yeah, I feel like if you get a new sketchbook, you start the first thing you do is you put your name and put your phone number in case it gets lost, and then you generally put color on a few pages.
I like to do that.
Yeah.
Because even if you're doing just a line drawing, having a color background can be nice. And a lot of times you might be out, in the world and you don't necessarily have your colors with you, but that's okay.
Whoa.
You like that?
What the what? I did not anticipate that happening.
Yeah. I wasn't sure that it was going to happen either. I'm praying that it will be less
looks like
overt.
A little skeleton.
Yeah.
David is asking what you used for the back. So yes, you used acrylic ink. Is that right?
Yeah, it's important that it's acrylic ink as opposed to just like India ink or drawing ink, because once it's dried, it's acrylic, So as the name would suggest, it is going to stay, it's not going to be activated by the water in the gouache. So this is just something that we learned in this thing. Am I drawing all the veins the wrong direction? Probably.
I don't know what I don't know what you're doing. I think you've gone off book.
It's all in vain. You'll see when they dry, I'm praying they will fade into the background a bit more. So that's one of the things about this is you never know what's going to happen. That's the adventure. That's the adventure and the tragedy.
Could you go over that with black to tamp it down? Or is that?
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could put another coat on top of it. You could just say, but you can see here back here, it's already fading in. So it's going to be okay.
I think, yeah.
Again, this flower is just very flat. I think that's the kind of the error that I'm making is these poinsettias are almost like two-dimensional flowers, and I'm just desperate to make them look like something, and I might be overdoing it, but I don't know. Like many experiments here on Draw With Me, it's a learning experience as opposed to an opportunity to make a good piece of art. I'm sure yours is way better, but
Oh, David Pyle is here.
David Pyle.
He says paper towel.
Paper towel. Yeah, paper towel's a different issue with gouache though, because you can actually end up lifting off the whole thing. You could, you can pull it up. That's my fear. You put it down, so you see the black underneath it. And it's all screwed up. So I don't know. Part of the pleasure of this is just it's just nice to work with something opaque and to have the kind of creaminess of the gouache. All those sorts of things are part of the pleasure of this, even if you're making a fairly ugly painting. It's true. Yeah, now.
We did another gouache workshop once upon a time with August Wren.
2.
That was fun.
We did 2.
That was fun.
We did flowers.
And portraits.
I should probably go back and look at that. Go back and look at that workshop again, because she actually knows what she's doing when it comes to flower painting.
Yeah, she's very. Oh, come here, Tweebies. Come here. Come on, you silly goose.
Jen wants to know what David Pyle's favorite brand of paper towel is. Yeah, I think we should maybe do a special event one time where we bring in various paper towel manufacturers. Maybe we can get a paper towel sponsor. Maybe we
David? That's David's job.
Yeah, maybe we could get Bounty.
Go get us some Bounty. Be the ambassador of Bounty.
Ambassador of
Why are we giving Bounty like a free shout out? In truth, we only use Costco Kirkland brand in our house.
We use Hefty.
We're loyalists. Aw, Melissa Boswell. The August Wren workshop started my love affair with gouache and made me a lifetime fan of Sketchbook School.
That's nice.
It's too nice. Too nice. But Melissa, did you send cookies? Ask yourself, what would a lifetime fan of Sketchbook School do?
That's true. Or the cash equivalent. We haven't tasted those cookies.
I've had these cookies. She sent them once before. They're legendary.
I know, but what is this batch going to be like?
We'll find out as soon as we're off camera.
I think I'm going to have to bring out the hairdryer again, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Chris Seidel makes a good point. August Wren paints flowers every single day. Cue the hairdryer. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Thank you for that musical interlude.
Oh my gosh, somebody is giving it, like, really breaking down this paper towel question. Viva paper towels don't have a pattern that would transfer. Scott shop towels are good, also just thicker. So the blue ones, yeah, I think we have a roll of those.
Oh yeah, those ones, yeah. Those are quite impressive.
Uh-oh, somebody's asking for like a breakdown on gouache.
A breakdown? What kind of breakdown?
Tell us the properties of gouache.
I'm about to have a breakdown with this gouache. The properties of gouache.
It's opaque watercolor. So
it's watercolor with a different... I'm sure David Pyle will jump into the fray here and explain.
Come on, David.
But it is made with a different binder than watercolor, but it is pigment plus binder. And the binder is, it's like,
oh my God, everyone is going bonkers for Viva towels. Oh, David, get us a Viva towel. I can't believe we pimped for Bounty when they aren't even good. Viva! Viva Las Vegas! I like that we both came to that at the exact same moment.
This is so corny.
This is our, this is real. This is not an act.
Lanny Cadle likes my things. Is that primary red a true primary? You mean as opposed to like the disputed primaries?
No, as opposed to did you mix it? I think.
No, I mixed. Well, no, I thought she was talking about the 2022 election recently passed. But this is a primary red, but I also mixed it with the spectrum red. So it's kind of a bunch of different things, and then there's some white in there. There's a bunch of different things going on here. And see, now I'm using very diluted gouache to take back this. Oh man, it's a little bit bad. I'm trying to take this back, but it's activating it. See, this is my point, is it's activating it. But again, it looks a lot less garish in reality than it does on camera. Right? You can attest to that, isn't it?
I can only see it on camera.
Look, have a look at that.
I'm gonna like topple everything over. Oh wow, yeah, it's
totally
on
different,
camera.
right?
It's like on steroids.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Actually, it looks pretty good in real life. I have to say, I like that black background. That's pretty good looking.
Okay. Maybe I can just, maybe I'll do some lettering. 'Cause I'm good. I know that I'm pretty good at that. You know, there's no reason.
Is this considered Jim Crackery?
Yeah, there's no reason.
That's an inside joke.
There's no reason to completely humiliate yourself in public. You know, if you do something that you're not very good at, you can always end the performance with something that you are better at.
Oh, and the leaf blowers are here.
They are?
I
They're
hear
really-
them. Don't you hear Twiggy barking?
Yeah, those of you who missed the leaf blowers,
They're here.
too bad because
Twiggy
we
Come here, Twiggy Beefs. Peaceful dog.
bought our house so we don't have to hear the leaf blowers anymore. Bought our house at great expense
Yeah,
just so we could
top of the market.
We
Nothing
could-
like it.
so we could tell our lawnsmen what to do because we're now the boss.
And we're making all these silly jokes, and people are talking about loss of their moms. You know, the holidays are really tough for people. I'm just going to say,
They're hard for you, aren't they? You like them, but they're also difficult.
I mean, it brings into focus the things you miss, and you know, the fact is life is short, and then you die.
Thanks. It's really uplifting.
No, I was trying to actually not be obnoxious and say for all the people who are experiencing grief, the holiday season, we'll try to make you laugh on Draw With Me, or at least laugh at us, make fun of us.
Yeah, I think it's a time it's also a time of stock taking, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or is that just me? I'm always stock taking.
I don't know. It's like the end of the year. It's like, wow, you know, another one in the rearview mirror. Feels like it was. I mean, I feel like it was a week ago that it was the summer. Everything after August kind of went onto a weird fast forward for us. Is that a dip pen in gold ink?
Hell yeah. I warned you.
Danny loves a dip pen.
So yeah, so see that makes now it looks a little less crummy.
Did you spell it wrong?
Point.
Isn't it poinsettia?
No, it's
Poinsettia?
Point. Poinsettia.
I think the way you did the T's, it looks like something's missing.
Is something missing from my work or from the viewer? Just saying.
I don't know how to answer that question.
All right, so there you go. It's it's a wounded animal, but it's mine.
Will you keep working on it?
No, I'm sick of it.
Should we throw it in the trash?
I don't know. It's just I came to it with misgivings, and they have been borne out by the experience.
Oh, Gen C.
But
Jen
I do
Cahill,
like,
make the little flower brackets gold.
what brackets?
The actual flower, the polleny
see.
bits.
Right. Jen, I'm just doing this for you.
I think that's a great idea because you can put a little shine on things and
Put a little shine.
yeah. I got something in my eye. Just talking about pollen made my eye itchy.
I'm using this gold ink, but I could have used those metallic watercolors. Would have been an opportunity.
How would
for
that work to layer a watercolor on top of a gouache?
Well, I have to say those watercolors are relatively opaque. They're certainly more opaque. I'm talking about the Winsor Newton.
No, the Cotman.
Yeah, well, they're
The Cotman set, which,
yeah.
yeah.
That was not a bad idea. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for your collaboration.
Jen has good ideas.
That is kind of nice.
Yeah. Yep.
This gold ink is not incredibly happy with me, but
Probably looks better in real IRL on
Yeah.
camera. I've got to say the camera has done some
Yeah, I'll
like
post a scan of this, and it won't be quite as.
The white, the bones. It looks
Now
like
Janice
fish
wants me to
bones.
put black ink on the flowers. What? That's enough. We're
No,
done.
do it. Do it. No, do it. You've got to do it. This is audience participation.
Excuse me, I
Put
don't
the
have a
black
brandy snifter on my art table where you can put in tips.
Put the black
This is not.
ink
No, this is
on-
not.
What?
This is not a request show. We're done.
Oh man.
I'm an artist.
You've got 8
really,
more
but-
minutes. What are you gonna do with them?
I see. So Lisa Thomas is referring to them as football leaves.
Yeah, they do. I think they look like little like fish skeletons. Football leaves, like the laces on a football.
Welcome to Everyone's a Critic, the weekly show brought to you by Sketchbook School. Oh man, that was fun though. It was pleasurable, within reason. Working with gouache is nice. I have to say, where's my gouache book? Show you better. Gouache.
I have just the total.
This is the last time I
gut
did
instinct
flowers
you're
in
gonna
gouache.
knock your coffee over.
This is the last time I did flowers with gouache, and it wasn't good. It was okay. It wasn't that great. My King Charles was better. Come on. Remember you didn't want me to do King Charles, but look at that. See, that's metallic watercolor. It's looking pretty good, I think.
King Charles.
And then there's this guy.
Looks deeply concerned.
That's not King
for
Charles,
his
but it's
future.
close. There you go. So.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, yes. And my breakfast. Anyway. So,
The whole rest of the book is Danny's breakfast.
it's my breakfast journal.
Yeah, we did. Once we did the full English on.
That's true. We
Draw
should do
with
that
me.
again. Maybe we'll do New Year's breakfast. What are we doing? Are we going to be here on Christmas?
I think our session next week is on the 21st, and then we're going to be away because we're going to be at the Dude Ranch.
But yes, so we're going to be skipping a week. But didn't we talk about doing something on Christmas Day?
In Spark.
In Spark, we're doing something on Christmas
No, we're
Day.
doing on Boxing Day.
Right.
It's not too late to sign up for a free trial of Spark.
That's true. If you'd like to join us to talk more about this stuff.
I think there's actually a number of sessions going on Christmas, in recognition of the fact that a lot of people are experiencing loneliness, and that's what we got. The beauty of the internet, we can be together.
Annie wants to know how we send our drawings. Okay, let me explain that. So what you do is you post them on Facebook or Instagram.
You could post them on your own social media.
On your own social media, wherever it is, and just put hashtag SBS Draw with me. You see this?
And we'll
thing
find
here?
it.
Hashtag SBS Draw with me. And we will track it down. If you absolutely had to, you could email it to us. If you were like, you know what, I hate social media, and you're not a member of the schoolyard, you could email it to us. We'll be less than happy about it.
That's not true.
But
People
I'm
email
sure
them
we'll
and
be eager to see it.
Yeah,
We're eager to
but
see
you know what? A lot of people will write inevitably and say, "Why didn't you include?" Guys, it's like kind of a substantial amount of work to make the little films. We don't do them 1 minute before
No, we
the
try and
event.
find. We try to find them.
You've got to send them by the beginning of the
and
week.
try and post it by next Tuesday is when we'll probably be gathering them up.
Yeah.
What else? Alex makes a good point, which is don't forget to give a thumbs up.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. And also to subscribe if you want to. That would be nice. That way you'll be remembered. You'll be reminded. You'll be remembered too. Tracy, thank you for joining us. We like that. We like that you're here. What else?
That's it. We're done.
So the Art for All podcast. The Art for All podcast.
Yeah, we're not selling anything this week.
No, we're not. So Art for All podcast.
Except Viva paper towels, apparently.
Yes. So Art for All podcast. And of course, if you'd like to get some free gouache or some free agave paper, then write to us at info@sketchbookschool.com. Let me put that back down. And there you go. Oh, and finally, my essays. What do I have to say about my essay?
I mean, I think you had your most successful essay ever this week. Everybody wrote to say.
Yeah, it wasn't my
You
most
got more,
successful,
well,
but it was-
successful
people
by
liked it.
measured by how many people wrote to say some feedback about it.
It's true. And if you sign up for it, I will send it to you. And I'll send you a new one tomorrow. I think I have a good one that I'm going to be writing for tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how my breakfast goes. And that's about it.
That's enough.
We've successfully wasted another hour of your time. And we'll see you next week on Draw With Me. Thank you.